What up, YouTube Digital? Let's talk about coax. But first, people should listen to that. Now, making your own patch cables and shit. Can you do it? Yeah, I just did. I made two that go from here to my... You can't see on top of that thing right there is where my diddly-doos are. So I made two because I didn't know I had a pre-made one just sitting. I used to have tons of these, but I gave a lot of them away. But this is Cat 5, 350 megahertz, and this is Cat 6, 14 foot, and that's the price. Matter of fact, if I remember right, I got this at Fry's. That's why there's a price tag on it. Now, the biggest thing about patches, and I just dropped that one, damn it, is when you make them, biggest mistake is people undo the sheathing and unwrap the twists, and you'll see the sheathing down to here and fucking untwisted wire going all the way up to here, and no. See, it's supposed to be sheathed all the way to there. Okay? To there. Couple reasons. One, you do not, and I repeat, do not want to untwist any more than you have to. Okay? Rule fucking number 1. 2, when you punch down with those blue pliers that I have, now you'll see that there are two sides to it. There's this side that's going to punch down all the little fins, and it's hard to see with this light, but just trust me on this. Now you can see all those little fins. See? Alright. Now, if you look on this side, you will see, let me see here. At the same time, it doesn't show because there it is, the little square right here. That's going to come down. Now, what those both do is not only do they push these little metal connectors, the gold ones, down, but they also push this square here down. And look, that square is on the sheathing, not on this wire. You want the pressure on the sheathing, because if you look at it, you kind of see it's at a pointy do. Helps it from backing out and everything else. Now, if I don't know how good the camera is going to be today. It's not going to. But these metal things that are right here, here's the one for the end. It's forked at the bottom. And when it gets pushed down, it punctures the wire. So that's why it's important for these things to be made right. Now, are you going to lose a megabit on a download or something? Maybe. But what's really going to fuck you up is your ping times. That is where high ping times come. Now, this goes the same with DSL. Alright? Now, this is what DSL, there's a problem with people wiring the phone. They don't know how to. And they leave these scraggly fucking unsheathed pieces. Go around your house. Take off the phone jacks. Look behind them. They should have like 4 or 6 screws, depending on what type of jack it is. Alright. Cool. The copper coming from the wall should wrap all the way around the screw in a direction that you tighten the screw, so it'll be clockwise. Okay, that way when you tighten it, it shrinks. And there should be no copper seen after that. Those screws are tightened down. And the reason for that is crosstalk. You might not even realize it. There could be a short out in a panel or out on a line, and that second line might not be hooked up in your house anymore, but it's cross-talking with it because there's a short somewhere else. And because your shit's dirty, it fucks it up. It fucks up your ping time. So go around your house, check all those. It is the biggest single mistake I've seen professionals, from the phone to so-called low voltage experts to homeowners, doing. And they think, oh, well, if you hear a dial tone, you're cool. No. Same with outside. There's usually 4 lugs outside, 4 or 6, depending on your box. And I'm talking about your MPO box outside, the gray one. And the copper should be wrapped around those the same way. There should not be any leftover fucking straggling, hanging out, and everything else. You would be surprised at the speed and bandwidth that these things are going through now. How easy it is for them to crosstalk. You're making little antennas. Why is it... Okay, think of it this way. You can make a dipole antenna, which is a wire antenna. Okay? An unsheathed piece of wire, meaning it has no shield on it, and it becomes an antenna. This is why people don't understand how EMPs get in electronics and all this other bullshit. That's one way right there. But every piece of unsheathed wire can turn into an antenna. So if you got a piece hanging out, it could either broadcast or it could receive, depending on voltages and all that other bullshit. There's a whole bunch of scientific fucking crap that I got no time for, and that's what the crosstalk does. Most of the time, it could transmit, and you could be transmitting to a short, or a short could be transmitting to you in one of your wall outlets, and you don't know. And if it does it in one outlet, it's doing it in all of them, because they're all terminated at the same spot. Remember that. Yeah. I mean, that's why when DSL installs first started in the 90s, they took it serious. I mean, they would go through your house, and before they're allowed to put the terminators in, those little squares with the two plugs on them and all that other bullshit, they terminated the signal and filtered it. But they also had to make sure that jack was clean first. So they'd have to physically take the jack out, look at it, make sure it's clean before they put it back together. And then put a terminator on it. But now they don't do it as much. And it turns out they should be. Because I still find that shit all the time. I found it here. This jack right down here was crosstalking. Matter of fact, whoever wired that jack was a jackass, because they didn't even use the right color codes. They used a 10. It looks like whoever wired this house for phone had a leftover. Probably had a leftover box of 10 pair, so you can have 10 line. And they used the wrong color codes. It should have been orange, white with orange stripe for line 1, and then blue, and then white with blue stripe for line 2, and I can't remember line 3 or line 4. But they didn't do that. It was totally bad. It was totally bad shit. So you got to be careful, because you don't know what other people have done, and God knows what they've done. So yes, you can make your own patch cables and shit. And the only time I would say do it is if you can't order them on the internet and you need it right now, and you got 1,000 feet of Cat 5 sitting right here. That's $80 a box. Or you you are wiring the inside of the walls. Otherwise, just buy these. They're cheap. Dirt cheap. So, anywho, peace.